Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of SEScoops, and today I am joined by your WWE NXT Women's North American Champion, Kelani Jordan. How are you today?
I am fantastic, Ella. How are you?
I am so good to be talking with you, Miss Ma'am. I have to say, I was actually there at your very first tryout, SummerSlam 2 years ago. So I got to see you in your very first steps, and it's so
Wow.
amazing to see how much you've accomplished and proven since then. It's also been almost 2 years since the very first day you walked into the PC. I think that's 2 years ago next week, actually, next Thursday.
Yep.
So congratulations on that. Obviously, you've
Thank you.
accomplished so much, and I am so excited to talk with you today because we are now just days away from the CW network debut of WWE NXT. Like we said, a brand you have been a part of for over a year now. Looking ahead, obviously, we have a stacked lineup for this network debut, including the NXT Women's Championship match between Roxanne Perez and Giulia, with Stephanie Vacker waiting in the wings, it looks like. So, what do you make of this situation that we just saw develop literally days ago on this past episode of NXT?
Honestly, I think it's incredible. I think it just goes to show how stacked the NXT Women's division is. So I'm pumped to see the match next week. Hope everyone else is pumped because it's going to be an amazing showing.
Now, I have to ask you, coming into WWE, obviously Julia's had a lot of hype. Roxanne, obviously, she gave her thoughts on it on NXT. We saw she wasn't too impressed. But from your perspective, you've gotten to see Julia backstage now and on WWE television. Do you think she's lived up to that hype? And what have your interactions been like with her so far in the NXT locker room, if any?
hmm Giulia's incredible. I think she had a phenomenal match with Chelsea Green, which was, yeah, her first match. And I think she's only going to keep getting better, learning the WWE way. And I'm excited for her and Roxy's match. I think they're both going to kill it because she's shown that she is having a great title reign, but also Giulia also has the experience and has killed it over in Japan. So I'm excited to see the matchup. It could honestly go either way.
I was going to ask you, looking ahead, obviously we have Roxanne versus Julia, and then it looks like we might have Stephanie versus whoever wins that
Yeah.
matchup. But looking ahead at the more imminent one, Julia and Roxanne, what are your predictions for this title match specifically?
Honestly, like I said before, I think it can go either way because Roxy is a firecracker in the ring, but Julia's also a firecracker in the ring and has that aggressiveness as well. So I truly think that it can go either way. I think they both need to be on their A game, and one little mishap could lead to the other person being the winner.
By the way, I love your cat lingering in the background. I have cats myself too,
Oh,
and they
thank you.
do that all the time. What is your cat's name?
I actually have three cats.
Okay.
So I have two boys, Shadow, Rambo, and Nemo. Nemo is the girl, but she's hiding
I love
somewhere.
that. I love that. I know you're a Disney fan, so that tracks. And all of that. But it's interesting too, because like we said, you've been in the game for 2 years. Roxanne has also been in WWE for over 2.5 years now. But before that, she's like 22 years old and already like a 10-year vet. So it's kind of insane. She's younger than most of the roster, but she's more experienced than a lot of the roster. Fallon Henley is another in-ring vet. Giulia is obviously coming in right now. A lot of these young talents are already vets. So what is it like for you to be, there's a lot of new girls, but there is some girls coming in with lots of experience, like a Roxanne, like a Fallon Henley, like a Giulia.
Mhm.
What are some things that you've gathered from working with them or learning kind of not under them, but alongside them?
I feel like it's taught me a lot because I'm come from a gymnastics background, so
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of training in wrestling. Obviously, next week will be my 2 year day since I walked to the PC. But just training alongside them, they give me insight, but also they're able to lead. Like my first match was against Wendy Choo on Level Up. And she has a lot of experience also on the independent scene. And she was able to lead me through the match. She was able to guide me. She was able to give me feedback and just help me improve. And I feel that all the girls there do that as well, especially when they have that experience. They know what to look for, what feels good, what doesn't, and they can just help give you advice even on a match that they weren't in with you.
You know, you've said too that level up match with Wendy Choo is really the moment that you knew that wrestling was what you wanted to do. What about that, or working with, obviously she's in a different phase now currently, but looking back, what really sparked it? What in that match made you know that this is what you wanted to do, like for certain?
Honestly, the moment that I walked out and just hearing the fans, how they received me, and also just encouraging me and cheering for me, I think it just felt electric. It was something about they just helped my adrenaline go to the next level. And seeing them smile and just be so into the match made me realize, like, oh, I want to do this. I really love being able to connect with people and just being able to see them smile, whether they're booing me or cheering me, whatever the case may be. I feel like wrestling is a good way for people to kind of escape reality and whatever they're going on in their outside world or life. So I just felt like being a part of that really made me want to do this. And I feel my passion for wrestling has grown even more than gymnastics because I can be whoever I want to be. I can connect to an audience. I don't have to be on a scale of perfection or tune people out to focus. I feel like I can actually connect with people. And that's what made me realize, oh, yeah, this is for me.
This is what you want to do, and now you're going to be part of two pairs of big shows on the
Mm-hmm.
on the CW network, obviously October 1st in Chicago. Elsewhere, we obviously have Ethan Page defending the NXT Championship against Trick Williams with CM Punk, former WWE champion,
Yeah.
acting as a special guest referee. We've seen a lot in the last year since he's returned that CM Punk has been helping a lot of the NXT talents and really giving them an outlet for advice and insight. So have you crossed paths with Punk at all behind the scenes? And if so, tell us about it.
Yes, I have cross paths with Punk. He's been super helpful, and also he's someone who's had more than experience the people here at NXT.
Yeah.
So he just offered me a lot of guidance, but also just a lot of encouragement and reminding me, like, hey, you're still so new at this. You got to go out there. You have to get the reps. You have to be able to take those risks and make those mistakes, and don't feel discouraged. Like, you're going to improve every time you go out there, and that's just how it works. And I feel like he's been incredible, super encouraging. He's actually at the Heat Wave match in Toronto, and honestly, him saying, oh, that was a great match, it meant the world. I was like, all right, Punk said it's a great match, then it was a great match.
It was you and Solruka. I feel like, a lot of people going into it were like, this is going to be athletic. And then you guys were athletic AF. Like, it was one of the best matches, like NXT, WWE period. A lot of people were praising it, including myself. And obviously looking ahead, it's an interesting time in WWE right now because we've seen a lot of Forbidden Door, Prohibited Portal, depending on who you ask. We got a street fight between Wesley and TNA's Zachary Wentz. Obviously, you yourself have gotten a taste of TNA talents when you faced Rosemary. I know she's a little bit of a thorn in your side right now, but who else, when you're looking at that TNA locker room across the board, could be intergender, would you like to work with in some capacity?
Oh, yes. I would love to work with Tasha Steeles. I would love to work with her. I've seen her work, but not only is she a great person, but she's incredible in the ring. And I feel like we would also have a great matchup because she's super athletic. And she also is like aggressive in the ring. And I feel like she can help me bring out that aggressiveness, especially when it comes to this. I want to keep this. So I think it would be a great matchup.
Yeah, the Bariqua badass. She also has a little bit of an edge to you, like maybe you can get a little bit of an attitude. I know you're very happy and bubbly, but I feel like she, like you said, can give you the extra edge and all
Yes.
that.
See, if
It,
it's warranted, I can go there. But see, I
yeah.
wouldn't necessarily start a fight, but I definitely would hold my own.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes you need to start the fights and call your shots though, Kalani, but obviously you have other things to attend to. You're trying to fend off everybody else coming from your title. It's funny too because WWE obviously moving to CW is a big move, so much so that the network NX has now partnered with NXT to create a custom car for Cole Custer at the NASCAR
Yes.
Cup series in Kansas, and your face is on it. So what was your reaction to seeing this?
I was shocked. I saved that picture so fast and sent it to my family group chat. I was like, no way in a billion years would I have thought, one, that I would be in the WWE and be a champion, but also be on a race car. Like, that's actually insane when you think about it. But Cole is going for back-to-back wins. So, the car just got, faster, got more beautiful. It's ready. That's one of the hottest cars if I've ever seen one.
I agree. I saw your face on it. Roxanne's was on it.
Yeah, right.
Ethan's was on it. So we got some good NXT representation on there. I think, though, like you said, you're very fast in the ring. So I think you might be able to give Cole that extra push towards,
Yes,
winning the
exactly.
race.
Hmm.
And now Kansas is obviously neighbors with the state that NXT will be traveling to the week after on October 8th, Missouri, specifically St. Louis, which is home to the Viper, Randy Orton. He will be facing a familiar face on the NXT brand, Javon Evans. We've seen a lot of main roster stars in NXT return to NXT over the last year. So I know Charlotte Flair, the queen, you got your own little crown going on. Bianca
Yeah.
Belair is probably one. Who are some main roster stars that you're keen on working with if given the opportunity and why?
Oh, yes. I would absolutely love to work with a lot of people. But if I had to pick just right now, I would say Bianca because she's helped pave the way for women like me to be able to wrestle. And she's also incredible in the ring. She's super powerful, but she's also very athletic. And
Yes.
I just want to work her. And then someone else that I would love to work is Charlotte. Another, she's the queen for a reason. And I honestly would love to work Naomi because I feel like we have similar styles. And I feel like I'm kind of like her wrestling daughter because our styles are so similar. Our personalities are very like charismatic, bubbly. So I would love to work her. And then last but not least is Natty because I don't know, I love Natty. And she's also someone who I really do feel has paved the way for wrestling to be taken seriously as a woman in the industry. And I watch her dungeon videos and she be getting after it. The underground match with Lola, she was killing it. So, I want to work Natty as well.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of cool names cross over into WWE NXT. A lot of them have been influences of yours. Obviously, Bianca Belair comes from there. Naomi Natalia's crossed over. Another one is a big style influence for you, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. It's been a hot minute since we've seen him in NXT, but kind of similarly to Punk, have you had the opportunity to cross paths with Rey Mysterio either in NXT or in the WWE bubble yet? And if so, again, tell us about it.
Yeah, so I saw Ray. I gave him a hug. I didn't get to get a picture, and we didn't get to really talk much because he was on the move. But he was great. He was Rey Mysterio. But I did get to give him a hug, but I didn't get to like have a full on conversation with him. But hopefully one day.
Yeah, you never know. There's so much unpredictability going on, but that's what we love about it. But you're working with another WWE Hall of Famer. Shawn Michaels is obviously your boss. He's been a huge influence on you, especially from a selling standpoint. Is there a specific match or two of Shawn's that you've watched in depth specifically for selling studying material?
Honestly, I would say all of them because in also in class we study matches that aren't just our own. So I've watched trying to see which one was my favorite. I don't know if I have necessarily a favorite, but if I had to pick a favorite, it'll probably be Sean. Oh, first, I don't know. I can't pick a favorite. I feel like they're all so unique. Maybe the iconic when I don't want to mess up the words, but when he did the match with Ric Flair, the last match,
WrestleMania
that was honest.
25, 24,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I'm not good with the numbers, but that was probably my favorite match ever because not only did Sean show selling, or not only did he do all of his greatest hits, but just the way that he connected with the audience, his facials, the way that he just, I don't know, like the way that they like received the match and were so emotionally invested is something that I want to be better at. And that's probably why that's one of my favorite matches that I've studied in depth. But there's a lot more that I've studied too.
Yeah. Final question, bringing it full circle. NXT has been around since 2010. It's obviously evolved. We're moving to this new chapter, but like we said, you've gone back, you've studied a lot from the WWE History Vault. Is there a particular match from the past in NXT that's not yours, obviously, that you have found yourself particularly captivated by, and why within the NXT Vault?
Mm. Let's see. Oh gosh, there's so many good ones. It's hard to pick just one. Maybe uh NXT. I don't know. Is it bad if I pick a guys match?
No, not at all.
Okay. I really liked the War Games match. Again, I'm not good with years, but it was the War Games match with when it was Grayson, Mello, I believe it was Tony D. It's been a while since I watched it, but and I believe Pete Dunne was in there too. Maybe Johnny
It
Gargano. I
sounds like
forget.
2022.
Yes, it was that match. I remember that was honestly one of the first matches that I watched when I started at the Performance Center, and
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh my gosh, they're killing each other with the kendo stick." They are like, but I don't know, it just captivated me.
Yeah, and obviously you will now be a part of this next chapter. Obviously, don't forget to tune into WWE NXT, obviously on October 1st, beginning on the CW network. What a move, Kalani. Thank you so much again.
Yes, thank you.